Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. Today we are heading down to the shores of the Delaware River here in Neshaminy State Park so that we can go check out a piece of history that dates back to the 1600s. So like almost 100 years before America became a country, there was this ferry down here, the Dunks Ferry. It was run by Duncan Williams, and it went on for a long time. They even made an inn, the Dunks Ferry Inn, so that they could have a place for their travelers to rest, eat, be amongst other people, have a couple drinks. I mean, this whole area is riddled with history. So let's get down there and check this out. All right, so this is what I was hoping to see. I purposely waited until, I guess it's like about 2 o'clock or so, somewhere close to there, because I knew that the tide would be out. If I come here in the morning, the water would be all the way up to here, and there'd be no walking on this beach. But I timed it right, and now I can walk along the beach. And if you look way down there, you'll see some ruins of a dock. That dock was the dock for the Dunks Ferry, which would go across the Delaware River in New Jersey and go back and forth. And the woman that would take the tolls for those crossing, her name was Alice. Alice of Dunks Ferry, I think they called her. Very, very interesting woman. She became known as an oral historian because she was born back before Philadelphia, way down there. You can see the skyline. Before Philadelphia was a city, and that's where she came from. And then she was moved up to here where she worked for the ferry. And her story is super interesting. I encourage you to look her up, Alice of Dunks Ferry. It's actually weird to be walking on the beach here. Normally I'm up there in the park in one of the vehicles, and we don't come down here. Not too often, unless there's like a big piece of trash or something we got to pick up that washed in, but still, it's cool being down here. It's different view of the park. So the Dunks Ferry Inn that I talked about, the building itself is still in existence. However, right now it's a private residence, so you'll never be able to see the inside of it, but it is nonetheless very historical, and I'm sure a lot of famous figures stop there and use this very ferry. Very ferry. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. But I have had the chance to see the inside of the building that was the inn, and I'll tell you, you can, sorry for the sniffling too, it's a little cold out right now, but you can really feel the history in that place, and you can almost see what it used to look like. So I won't go into too much detail or anything as to protect those who live there now, but still a very cool place. All right, I gotta figure out, I guess I'll go around the right side of this big giant piece of tree here. It is big too. Don't know where it came down from, unless it just washed up here. Oh wow, it's gonna be tougher to get around than I thought. A lot of this is still very frozen. Well, I'm sinking in some of it, but slipping on other parts of it. Woo! Yeah, I guess I got to keep this rolling just in case, huh? It's tough getting around. Okay, and I just sunk really far down there. Kind of hurt. All in the name of exploration. All right, we got past it. And here are what's left of the docks that were for the Dunks Ferry. Now, is this the original? Probably not. When you consider that goes back to the 1600s, and I'll give you more precise dates in a minute as soon as I can set down my coffee and take out my little piece of paper. So as you can see, since the tide is out more than normal right now than what I usually see, you can actually get closer to these and you can see the wear and tear on the wood from God knows how long the docks were here. These particular pieces of the dock, again, thinking about this, the Dunks Ferry is recorded to go as far back as 1679, so almost 100 years before America was a country. And then the inn was created sometime around in the 1700s, but this was the dock that went down to the ferry, so it went straight across here somehow. And keeping in mind that the river has changed in those hundreds of years, the shape of it, the width of it, things like that. Yeah, this is history right here. You know, for those of you in the Bensalem area, around this area, around the Neshaminy State Park, and also into Parkwood of far northeast Philly, you know, we all know Dunks Ferry Road. Well, this is how it got its name, from Duncan Williams, who had a ferry, Dunks Ferry. And this is, I mean, who knows really how old these particular pieces of wood are that are here. And you can see that there's also concrete, and it's, you know, it's that old looking concrete, I guess, that's got like the stones in it and stuff. But this is probably not as old as, say, the wood out here, I would have to think. And there's a piece right there from where the road came down. Now, from where we are, Dunks Ferry Road starts or ends, depending on how you look at it, up that way somewhere. But I think, because I've seen some old maps, I think the road was over more way back in the day, but it also curved around here just to come right to the ferry so that you could walk along the docks and then board the ferry and cross the river. I've been wanting to do this video, like just kind of pinpoint this. I've come here before in some of my videos, just when I've been wandering around and just kind of touched on this, but I wanted to make a video with more focus on it so that we know that there is still a piece of history here and it supersedes our country. I mean, Mr. Williams, Duncan Williams, he ran this thing very faithfully, and then he made the inn. And, you know, the inn would give people lodging. It had a pub. It had like a common room where people could meet. So it was like, you know, if it was a cold day like today and they just wanted to go in and warm up by the fire, they could do that, maybe have a drink or two, and then be on their horses and be on their way. Maybe traveling down to Center City. There we go. That's about the best shot I'm going to get. You know, that's the most I can zoom in with this phone. But there's Center City, and we are way back here. So that was a long ride by horse, but they would take the King's Highway, which part of the King's Highway is Frankfort Ave, and I've mentioned that in another video I did when I went to the King's Highway Bridge, which is the oldest functioning bridge in the country. Another story, though, you can go check out that video or do your own research on it. There are plenty of sites where you can read about the King's Highway. There's even a movie that they made, like a documentary, so you can check that out as well. I myself have not watched that documentary. I intend to at some point. But yeah, this is it. This is Dunks Ferry docks. So weird, you know, when you think about how long this has been here. Long before they ever thought of a Neshaminy State Park. Long before Robert and Sarah Logan moved into Sorobia over there. And there was actually a crossing here as well by one of General George Washington's men when Washington crossed the Delaware River down at Washington's Crossing, of all places. Really, I mean, irony. No, sorry, stupid dad joke. Anyway, so there was a crossing here. I believe the guy's name was General Caldwater, and he wound up never making the entire trip across. He got his men across the river, but he could not get the horses and the artillery across the river. So it was a failed attempt, and they had to bring all the guys back. There's a whole story that goes along with that, and you can even find letters that were handwritten letters that were between Caldwater and some other people, or some people in Caldwater's army, or his little regiment there. I've seen a couple different ones, but it's all really cool history though, and it all happened here. Crazy. And here there's some broken pieces of cement. Who knows what that's from? It could be from something here that had to do with the docks. It could just be something, I don't know, that was like up there when they were building stuff. There's a building over there, another one over here. Some big rocks on the beach here though, and big pieces of trees. Now I'm not able to go all the way down here because I can see from here a sign that says private property, but on the rest of the beach you're allowed to be here, as far as I can tell, because there's no signs. It's an old piece of pipe here too. It's pretty well in there. I kicked it a couple times. It doesn't really move. I don't know, maybe it had something to do with the docks. Can't really say, can only guess or speculate. I don't know, when I see something that's historical like this, like a piece of history, you can't help but feel in awe of it. And again, are these the original pieces of the docks? Probably not. Over time they probably had to replace things, but still it was part of the docks for Dunks Ferry, so it is history. Right here, just sitting on the beach. People have probably seen it millions of times and didn't even give it a second thought. They just thought, it's an old dock. Well, it's historical. So now we'll head back, and just in the time I've been here, the tide went out a little bit more, so I'm going to go around the right side of the tree this time instead of going through all that mess. It's a little messy right here, a little sloshy. It's all right though, I don't mind. It's better than going through all that snow and ice. It's weird on this part of the beach. It's like a lot of little tiny rocks, and then you can see up ahead where it kind of sticks out to the right, bigger rocks. And I was actually just having a conversation with a guy last night while I was at Outback Steakhouse, and we were talking about the Delaware River and how much cleaner it is than it used to be. And you know, I'll agree to that. Yes, it is much cleaner than it used to be. I still, even if I did eat fish, I still would not eat anything I caught in here. That's just my opinion now. Now, I had brought up earlier about Alice of Dunks Ferry, and there are tons of documents that you can find about her, and I believe there's some videos. Maybe one day I'll do one about her. But it's said, it's a rumor, that the Historical Society of Bensalem has said that somewhere in this park, and probably close to here, there's supposed to be a rock that has a letter A etched into it, and that was supposedly done by Alice. They always say, if you find it, let us know. I have not yet found it, because if I did, that would have definitely been in a video. And yes, before we leave, we definitely will be checking on Cobia. Haven't seen it snow covered in a little bit. I mean, even though a lot of the snow is melting now, finally. I hate this snow, but you know, I think it's still covered over there because it's mostly shaded, so we'll go check it out. But I'm not going to walk all the way over there. I'm going to go back to my car because I'm in the first parking lot, go back to the second parking lot, park there, then walk over to the garden. As you can see, we do our best here to keep the paths clear so that people can still come here even after it snows and take their walks and walk their dogs and things like that. I'm not going to say it's an easy task, but you know, we're only happy to do it. Now, are they perfectly clear? No, they're not all the way down to the blacktop, but they're walkable as long as you're careful. There are some slick spots here and there throughout the park, so be careful when you're walking around in here. But it definitely is, it's a different scene altogether when the snow's on the ground. You think about what this looks like in the summertime. Everything's all green, in full bloom. But this is pretty in a different way. And if you listen, it's much more quiet. Think about the summertime when that pool over there is open. All the music, all the loud voices. I mean, yeah, everybody's having a good time, and that's great. But it's so much more peaceful. Now you can tell the tracks of people who know this little path, because you can't really see it if you don't know what you're looking for. But there is a path right here that goes around to that door. So you can tell the people that come here versus the people that don't know where they are. Some rabbit tracks. Felt like Elmer Fudd for a second there. Wabbit twacks. Here it is. Cobia Garden. All covered in snow. Still wish the mansion was there. Bet that would look really pretty with the snow. All the flowers in deep hibernation. Just waiting for the spring. Then they can all bloom once again. I love seeing that in the spring. Especially when it's like freshly mowed in here and all the flowers are in bloom. It is definitely magical. At least to me. And a chessboard's in there somewhere. Guess the chessboard is sleeping for now too. Now you may have noticed the little green ribbon on this tree. This tree, yeah, it's gonna be coming down. It's really old and it's leaning. You can see to the right. It's eventually gonna fall over. There's pieces of it you can see out there that are dead, that are gonna come crashing down at some point, and that's a safety issue. So, you know, rather than having to keep trimming the dead branches, this is just going to come down. And two other trees as well. The tree in front of the building over there, that's going to be coming down mostly, not completely, but it's going to get really trimmed. And over by the bathrooms over there, there's a tree with a ribbon on it as well. Again, going to be very trimmed, but not brought all the way down, not like this one. Somebody had put this angel here months ago, and I continue to pick it up every time it falls over from the wind. You can see the wings are a little chipped. One piece of the wing is down in there. Just can't see it, it's covered in snow. But I eventually just put bricks around this so it wouldn't fall over. And I have her looking at the garden. You can see me here. Here's my coffee. I'm not sure if that bench there in the corner was here in the last video I made here. It might have been. We put that in, I want to say October. So now there are 4 benches total in the garden, and there's not going to be any more. So we have that one over there, and these 2 right here. So I think that's the last of the benches. Can't really put any over here because like the chessboard takes up a lot of that area. So, and we don't want to ruin the chessboard. Sundials all covered in snow. Starting to melt away a little bit. You can see the top of the sundial sticking out. What's strange is that, and I understand I was down at the river and everything, and it's more windy and open, But here in the garden, I don't feel cold at all. Now maybe my body just finally adjusted and everything, plus being in the bitter cold down by the river, you know, maybe it had something to do with all that. But I don't know, even when it's like super hot outside and I come into the garden, I'm not sweating. I just always feel comfortable. Maybe that's just in my mind, I don't know. But you all know I do love this place. Had it not been for this very garden, I would not work at this park. The Logans have helped me, as I helped them, by uncovering their garden with the other volunteers. And there's that other tree. It's in front of the last remaining building of Cobia. And like I said, this one's not coming down completely, but you can see there's some branches, heavy branches that are hanging right over top of the building. So before they destroy the building, that's going to be cut off or cut back quite a bit. I don't think it's going to be cut off at the base, but they're going to cut it back quite a bit. Not sure when that's going to happen. Hopefully soon. So for now, we say goodbye to the garden and make our way back to the parking lot. So thank you once again for coming on yet another adventure with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you learned something new about the Dunks Ferry and about how Dunks Ferry Road got its name. And I thank you all for all the support you've given me and that you continue to give me. You are all awesome. You know, if you want to support the channel, there's multiple ways you could do that. You can always share out my videos or the channel itself. You can go to my merch shop. The link will be in the description. You can buy some Tom's World merchandise. Hats, t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of stuff. 3 different designs. Or you could simply hit the super thanks that's underneath the video. It's got a little $ in it. And you can always contribute anything you feel that you can and give back to the channel. And those are about all the ways you can support it. Outside of watching the videos, liking the videos, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, I guess I'm going to get out of here. It's starting to get a little windy. So I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.